So, hello, I'm Peter, and Linda Erssons made a video about Xenophon 2 or 3 days ago, and I promised her to make a reply video and give her my uneducated opinion on the topic. First of all, I agree in a lot of parts that you said, Linda, but what I would like to point out is the fact that Xenophon was training his horses for war, and what we also don't know is who made the translation of the books, because I'm sure that my German translation is a lot different than the Swedish one you have. This one is about the art of riding as well as the riding kernel in one book, and was published in 1984, and I'm sure it is quite different to what we would translate nowadays in 2018, as well as what was maybe translated 200 years ago, because people have known for quite a long time that Xenophon wrote a book about riding. You mentioned the horse that is taught how to jump over an obstacle, and what I found interesting is the mention of him that if you teach a horse how to jump over something and he does not jump, that you then have someone with a whip or a stick that is supposed to hit him hard on the croup, that the horse then will jump. And every time afterwards and then every time when the horse has to jump and sees someone in front, behind him, the horse will jump, which is why I believe that he basically only has the guy, that's how do I put it? As I said, he's training horses for war, and when someone's chasing you, you have someone behind you, so when the horse realizes it's being chased and now it has to jump, it will remember, hey, last time someone was behind me, I got whipped or beaten quite hard on the ass, so I better jump quite high and far that I get over the obstacle and will not get hit again. And he also mentions this at least in the German version. If you do have to jump over something and you're using the spurs, use them lightly, but but suddenly. So you use the spurs lightly but suddenly. So even maybe if you have some really sharp spurs, then it might be not so much of an issue, maybe. And the other thing was you've shown a picture of really pointy spurs, and they existed throughout all the times. I mean, Cavendish, for example, he also mentions that you should use sharp spurs, but if you look at this guy, he tells you that you should use blunt spurs, so maybe this was a personal preference of his. And he does not mention that you should use sharp spurs, just that you should use spurs, so we don't know what spurs he used. I mean, there are quite a lot of different types of prick spurs. Some are really round and others are really sharp. And this is what I wanted to point out, that the guy who made the person who made the translation, the Swedish translation that you have, maybe he wanted to give Xenophon a rather rough face or portrait, so which is why he included these sharp spurs. He could have also used a picture of rather round spurs, so we don't really know what the translator had in mind. Aside from that, also about the part with the bits, where he explains that if you want a horse to have a nice posture, that you also need two different types of bits, a sharp one and one with spikes. As I understood it, he uses the not the sharp one and one with spikes, but a soft one and one with spikes, a rather sharp one. That you use the soft one for educating the horse, and if the horse takes on a bad habit and starts pulling on the rein, that you then take the sharp one to correct it, and afterwards you basically reward him by giving him back the soft bit, and the horse will be thankful to some degree because because he no longer has to endure the harsh bit. So it's a thank you from the rider, like, you're doing good, and the horse realizes, okay, I'm doing good, I now may use the soft one again. And I don't know, but maybe it's also because the sharp one could cause problems if you're in combat or something like that. And I'm gonna search for the part where he is writing it in the German version, somewhere here. Yeah, it's gotta be here somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, in der German version reads: Wenn man das Pferd in die Haltung bringt, die er selbst annimmt, wenn er sich das Schönste anziehen geben will, so erreicht man, dass das Pferd des Reitens froh und prächtig, stolz und sehenswert erscheint. So if I loosely translate this as if you get the horse to walk in a posture or move in a posture that the horse itself carries or has when he wants to show off, then the horse will get happy and confident in, and will like to work with the rider, or will get happy and confident during riding. So, and afterwards he explains immediately that you need two different bits for this. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's basically it. What I found also quite interesting was his explanation, or his hypothesis why the mouthpiece has to be broken. So not a solid, not one solid piece, but two joints, which is basically that if you have two joints, the horse will always grab one, but the other one will be dangling around in his mouth, and then he will open up its mouth and try to catch the other part as well. So he always wants to he wants to hold it steady, but he cannot really. So he always has one and never both, which is why he then will proceed to chew on the bit, and also, for example, turn the rings that Xenophon describes here, which are on the next to the joint. So these are just small brass rings, or maybe iron rings. I don't know if they had iron bits, but they definitely had brass bits. And that's quite interesting, because here he also mentions they had toys for the horse to play with to keep the mouth active, which is quite interesting. Yeah, I guess I'm not going to make a German version of a German video about Xenophon, because yeah, why not? See you next time.